And I want to welcome you to another episode of Beyond the Surface Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Wanda Evans-Brewer. Today I want to discuss how the postman always rings twice. I'm titling this podcast, The Postman Always Rings Twice. So we have a company here called Wanda Lands Naturals. I sell not only herbs and spices, specific to Ghana, but also veggie steam gowns, specific artifacts that if you have been to Ghana or you're Ghanaian or you're interested in some African type things, you can get it off my shop, like waist beads. Nonetheless, the shop is doing very, very well. A lot of our clients actually are throughout the diaspora and Europe. So wherever there are West Africans, they have found the shop because it's on the Etsy platform, and they order. They order Percocet, they order Odie seeds, they order all kinds of stuff that would be specific to their homeland because they miss it. And so we go to the post office quite a bit. I shouldn't say we. My husband goes, because God forbid if I were to go, because then they would see it as an American attached to the company, and the fees at the post office will go up. Now, the post office is not a pure place. You do have to grease palms. You do have to rub some elbows, because that's just how it is. I'm not involved in that process at all. Again, Wanda Lands Naturals, as far as the post office knows, is in the face of my husband, Isaac. So he's been going and going and going. And so at some point we had an item that was returned to us. And because the item was returned, the post office called. And in calling, one of the gentlemen who called to let my husband know that the item had been returned kept my husband's number. And just recently began to ask my husband for a loan. He said, wow, you come in here quite a bit. You must really be doing well. He wants to see if he could get a loan. So it was a minute before my husband even told me this was going on. The guy is calling. I mean, he's calling almost every day. He's calling him. He said, I don't even take his number. I ignore his call. I said, how much is this man calling? He is calling every day. And when he goes, he, jogs over to him. He's been trying to see if he could get a loan. So Isaac finally asked him, he said, why do you work for a government agency? Aren't you able to get a loan pretty easy? And he said, I've already taken out a loan. And so if you've already taken out a loan and you haven't paid that back, or you're having trouble paying that back, that speaks to a problem. This means that whatever your financial literacy is bad, okay? Because the way it works with loans, if you pay off a loan, you stay in good standing, so you can come back and get another loan. So he's already bad business. But this man is ringing twice. He's coming twice. He's running to this man at the post office. Then he's calling his personal cell phone, all to get a loan, because he's coming to the post office so often that he's assuming he's making a lot of money, okay? And let's say he is or he isn't. Who gives you the right to hold on to a customer's phone number? You work for the government, you're working for the post office, and harass them for money. These are some of the small challenges that happen. That's actually a huge challenge. In the U.S., we would simply call, report them, whatever. First of all, in the U.S., this would never happen. And we all know that. The post office job is a respectable job. It has a nice income with great benefits. And people who usually work that job stay there for quite some time if they're satisfied. So, you don't get post office workers calling your phone number to ask you for a loan. If they need money, they borrow it someplace else. But these are just some of the intimate irritations, the deep, get right under the dermis of your skin irritations, deep in the muscle meat, that when you're living in these countries, you come to learn. I cannot go to the post office because if I attach myself to Wanda Lands Naturals, every fee, as you can imagine, is going to begin to get adjusted. Normally, they're happy to see my husband because on his way out, the people that service him, he'll give $5, 10 CDs, okay? This is just kind of a love offering on some level. So they look forward to him coming to the post office. It has made a world of difference. Wonderland's Naturals is flourishing. I can honestly tell you I could not get this level of success with it without my husband, without this Ghanaian. Because again, if it was me, there would be some sort of financial penalty attached to it. And I cannot imagine what would happen if this gentleman was calling me, okay? That I just can't even imagine. So I titled this, The Postman Always Rings Twice. In Ghana, there's a possibility that postman will definitely ring twice if you're going to that post office a whole lot and you're doing a whole lot of sales and shipping a whole lot out. My husband goes about twice a week. He usually has about 4 to 5 items that needs to be shipped. And listen, somebody's watching you. They're tracking that. They're tracking that to see, oh, wow, look at there, wow. Stuff that I would never think about. That is a real issue, a real cause for concern here. So know that, yes, when you're flourishing in any business, you are most certainly being watched because for some people, the desperation is so high. Sometimes it's the competitiveness. Sometimes it's jealousy. You don't know. But I know that there's something wrong with a post office worker who got your number because a package was returned, who holds it and begins to call you and ask for a loan. He has no business ringing twice. But I promise you, it's going to go on until we figure out a way to nip it in the bud. You've been listening to Beyond the Surface Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Wanda J. Evans-Brewer. And until we meet again, be safe in God's grace.